when you are attending question number 1, preparation of liquidator final statement. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes, okay. So question number 1. In case there is a problem in your that is mic, then at least you can chat chat. You can give answers. Any specific issue you faced while trying question number 1? Liquidator final statement. So in question number 1, liquidator final statement, like receipts and payments, we need to develop. It is not an account, it is only a statement. So as how we normally prepare a receipts and payments, like that only we need to prepare. Receipt sides, what are all the items will be updated? Any idea? Vishal, Sheshadri, Meenakshi, Kaushik,
Actually, sir, I'm still at internal risk construction only.
okay.
Yeah.
Others? Meenakshi,
3,80,400 total assets.
no, in general, liquidator final statement, receipt side, what are all the items will be recorded?
Assets realized.
Assets realized. And in payment side, what is the order in which you need update?
Liquidators, liquidation expenses, and contribution.
Liquidator remuneration.
Remuneration. Then on the outside,
Liquidation expenses.
Debentures.
Secured creditors.
Charges.
Floating charge. That is what we normally, that is under secured creditors floating charge, we take debentures. Then next one.
Preference unsecured creditors.
Unsecured creditors.
Preference shareholders. Then
Preferential creditors, non-preferential creditors.
And then on the preference shareholders.
Shareholders, contributories.
Equity shareholders.
Payment to contributories. First, preference shareholder.
Then
equity shareholders. So here total assets realized 3,80,400, which will be shown in receipt side. And payments one by one. Do you have liquidator remuneration? How liquidator remuneration? 2% on the amount realized from calls made on contributories. So sometimes the percentage will be given on assets realized. Sometimes it will be based on liability settled. Here it is based on amount realized from calls made on contributories. Now, before proceeding further, first you need to know how much calls you are going to make from contributories. So total assets realized 3,80,400. In which first liquidation expenses how much? Thousand, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Balance will be 3,79,400 after spending for liquidation expense. Then after liquidation expense, is there any secured creditors having fixed charge? The question. Then preferential creditors. Do we have preferential creditors? Then debentures, floating charge. Do we have floating charge debentures? No. Now creditors, it is given in the question as 99,000. So less creditors 99,000. This balance will be given for after settlement of creditors. To whom we need to settle next?
Preference shareholder.
Preference shareholder. Preference shareholder, how much we are required to pay?
60 into 5,000, so 3 lakh.
3 lakhs, but
But
we have only
280.
280, 400. So what is the shortage? 19,600 shortage. This we can call from
Equity shareholder.
equity shareholders. Equity shareholders 75 each, 50 paid up. Now, do we need to call the entire 25 rupees uncalled amount? Is it necessary? Or we need to call only to the extent of this 19,600?
Yeah, to the extent of 19. Okay.
So that you will make payment exactly preference shareholder 3 lakhs. Can you understand?
Okay.
But there is a problem. If you pay to creditors 19,000, that is, sorry, not creditors, preference shareholders 19,600. And if you call for 2,000 shares only at the rate of 9.8, what is the uncalled amount? 25 rupees. If you call only 9.8, then how we can make payment for liquidator remuneration? Can you understand the issue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you should not call 9.8. 2% on the amount realized from calls made on contributories. So amount realized from calls on contributories 19,600. 2%, it comes to 392. But after settling the entire 3 lakhs, how it is possible for us to pay for the liquidator. So what can we do at this stage? So it is something like you need 19,600 plus some amount so that it will enable you to make payment for so 19,600 plus some amount we need. How to find out that amount? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can hear.
Yeah, please. So 19,600 plus so kindly participate so that we can move on to next question. Right or wrong? Just participate. That is important. Others? Vishal, Sheshadri.
So you have to consider the amount as inclusive of 1 or 2%. That is 19,600 plus some X, which is 1 or 2%.
Then there will be a problem again. You see, into 2 by 102, suppose if you take, then it comes to 19,984. But
Okay.
the commission given here it is 400. Can you understand the issue?
Okay. Okay.
So it is the XY only we are going to do equation, but how it is going to be done? That calls from contributories, including remuneration, you can take it as say some variable X or Y.
Why?
So this Y should enable us to make payment for 280, 400 plus and say liquidator remuneration, you just take it as some variable X. So how can we equate now?
280, 400 plus X.
280, 400 plus X
X
should
is
be
equal
equal to,
what?
that is not Y,
Oh, oh.
it is going to be 280 280 400 plus X is going to be equal to are we going to pay 280 400? How much we are going to pay to preference shareholders?
3 lakh.
3 lakhs. So you should pay 3 lakhs, not 280 400
Yeah.
plus remuneration X should be equal to 280 400 plus the amount which you are going to call from contributories. Can you understand?
Yes.
And how you can arrive at this particular X and Y values? One variable we can find out. How we can find out two variables in an equation? Okay, so we'll just tell since shortage of funds 19,600. That is what the stage we are now. And then, so 19,600, usually what we used to do is that if 19,600 is going to be inclusive of the payment to be made to preference shareholders as well as the remuneration, we used to do like 2 by 102. But here, the amount to be called from contributories should be in such number, it should enable you to make payment to preference shareholder as well as liquidator remuneration should be taken. So what we are going to do is not 2 by 102. It is into 100 divided by 100 minus 2. That is 19,600. If it is after that remuneration 2%, that is the amount you need to pay for preference shareholder. So how much it is before the 2%, before computing that, it comes to 20,000. So 20,000 when you collect, when you make calls from contributories, out of this, you can pay preference shareholders 3 lakhs, and whatever is the balance, you can use it for liquidator remuneration. And it is not a balancing figure. Liquidator remuneration, what was the condition? It should be 2% on calls from contributories. Calls from contributories, it is 20,000. 20,000 into 2%, it comes to 400. So can you understand the computation?
Yes.
So it is not like inclusive formula, normally what we used to do, into 2 by 102, into 5 by 105, like that. So this 19,600 is the amount after meeting liquidator expenditure would mean. What should be the amount we should have called up, including for liquidator remuneration? Divided by 98%, when you work out, it comes to 20,000. The 20,000 when you call, 19,600 you can pay for preference shareholders. 400 we can take it remuneration for liquidator. So except for this, there is no specific or important adjustment in this particular question. Question number 2, any specific issue you faced while solving question number 2? For NBFC, you need to find out the net owned funds. NBFC, systematically important non-deposit taking company and deposit taking company. How to compute net owned funds? How much should be the net owned funds minimum? For NBFC, what should be net owned funds? $200 lakhs. So how to compute that net owned funds? Okay, I'll just highlight you in case you are not. It's a very simple thing only. In different chapters, we used to compute capital employed, net assets, effective capital. That way, for NBFC, we need to find out net owned fund. So first you need to compute owned fund. Then you need to find out net owned fund. Owned fund is nothing but the total of paid up capital, preference shares, equity capital, preference capital, free reserves, capital reserves, excluding revaluation reserve. Then you need to deduct any accumulated loss, intangible assets, and deferred revenue expenditure. So how to find out owned fund? First you need to find out owned fund. Then you need to find out net owned fund. So owned fund, you need to add capital, add reserves, except revaluation reserve. Then you need to deduct intangible assets, if any. Then you need to deduct any accumulated loss. Accumulated loss, intangible assets, any other deferred revenue expenditure, deferred expenditure, which was not written off earlier. That is owned fund. Net owned fund. Owned fund minus investment in shares or debentures, etc., to the extent such sum exceeds 10% of owned funds. Net owned fund is nothing but owned fund minus can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Investment in shares, debentures, etc., of subsidiaries and other group companies to the extent such sum is more than exceeding 10% of owned funds. Now, in the given question, what is the capital? The given question, what is the capital? Paid up capital 100. Reserves, free reserves 400. Any intangible assets? Any accumulated losses? No. Deferred expenditure you have. Deferred expenditure to the extent of 100. So you will get owned fund 400. Then owned fund 400 minus investment in shares or debentures to the extent such sum exceeds 10% of owned funds. How much is the investment in shares, debentures in this question? It comes to 200. 10% of owned funds. 10% of owned funds is 400. So 200, that is investment in debentures, shares, etc., minus 10% of 400. So 200 minus 40, it is 160. 400 minus 160, it comes to 240. This is what we call it as net owned funds. So minimum net owned funds should be 200 lakhs, and here it is 240. That is the question they are asking. Compute net owned funds. Is that clear? So even you have not tried the test also, at least something you can understand from the discussion. Is that clear? some outline you can get.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's something like in different chapters we compute effective capital. That's how here also we are doing net owned fund for NBFC. Next, Financiers Limited is an NBFC providing hire purchase solutions for acquiring consumer durables. Following information is extracted from its books for the year ending 31st March 20. So assets funded LEDs, air purifiers, RO, air conditioners, microwaves. Overdue period, interest amount, net book value. You are required to calculate the amount of provision to be made. For hire purchasing and leasing assets, there is some prudential norms we have. Where higher charges or lease rentals are overdue up to 12 months. Say, actually, in the question, it is asked calculate the amount of provision to be made. See, this is not an issue in the question asked. This problem is there in the material also. Study material also, the same problem will be there. If you look it into this question, this is a question. So, Babu by Financiers are able to link these questions.
Yes.
So here also in study material also they have asked calculate the amount of provision to be made. The question should not be amount of provision. It should be the amount of additional provision to be made. Because for hire purchasing and leasing assets, provision to be made will be different. Additional provision to be made, the procedures what we are going to discuss now. So both are different. So it is additional provisioning, it is not provisioning. So additional provision, if it is overdue up to 12 months, no additional provision is required. More than 12 months, up to 24 months, 10% of the net book value. So here they have given readily net book value. Up to 12 months, no provision is required. Up to 24 months, that is more than 12 months, up to 24 months, 2000 into 10%. Simply we need to remember the provision percentages and you need to apply it on book value, net book value to find out the provision to be made. If it is overdue for more than 24 up to 36, 40% of the book value. More than 36 up to 48, 70%. More than 48, it is 100%. So that is the question here also. Net book value. Just you need to take the book value into percentages, 10%, 40%, 70%, 100%. So here also, so this is the solution for the first question, which we did 240. The one which we did net owned funds 240, solution for the first question. Second question, the study material question only, the same thing. Numbers are changed. Can you understand?
Yes.
Just you need to remember for which period, what is the provision to be made. Net book value into that much percentage will give you the provision to be created. Additional provision to be created. So in solution, it is clearly worded. But in question, they have asked provision to be made. That problem is there in study material also. In question number 3, again, you need to prepare liquidator final statement of account. So you have the liabilities to be settled, like preference capital, equity capital. Equity capital, we have two categories. One is 4,000 equity shares, 100 each fully paid up. Another one is 4,000 equity shares, 100 each, 50 paid up. These are all assets value, creditors, bank balance, preliminary expenses, mortgage loan, outstanding liabilities for expenses, P&L balance. So on 21st January, liquidator sold the plant for 5,90,000 and stock in trade at 10% less than book value. He realized 80% of sundry debtors and incurred cost of collection 3,700. Remaining debtors are to be treated as bad. Mortgage loan was discharged on 31st January along with interest for 6 months. Creditors were discharged subject to 5% discount. Outstanding expenses paid at 20% less. Preference dividend is due for 1 year and paid with final payment. Liquidation expenses 3,600. Liquidator remuneration 4% on payment to shareholders, excluding preference dividend, subject to minimum of rupees 20,000. Liquidator remuneration should be rounded off to multiple of 10 rupees. So liquidator final statement of account, it is given. Again, here the question, assets realized. It's only a trial balance that is given. We cannot take these values. Assets realized. Liquidator sold the plant for 5,90,000. So plant $5,90,000. Then stock, how much it realized? 10% lower than book value. Book value 7,20,000. 10% lower means 7,20,000, 90% only realized. Then what about debtors? 80% of the debtors were realized and incurred cost of collection 3,700. Remaining debtors are to be treated bad. So 80% of the debtors 1,70,000 into 80%. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Expenses on collection is 3,700. Then mortgage loan was discharged on 31st January 2021 along with interest for 6 months. Creditors were discharged subject to 5% discount. Outstanding expenses paid at 20% lower. So in addition to these assets, we even have some bank balance of 2,40,000 initially. So that also you can take it, bank balance 2,40,000. So total assets realized. In first question, this data was readily given, total assets realized. This much. Then liabilities one by one. So total assets 16,14,000 less legal expenses. There is no legal expenses. Liquidator remuneration 4% on payment to shareholders, which we can find like question number 1 lead towards the end, not now. Liquidation expenses 3,600. Liquidation expenses. Say we can even add this collection expenses also along with that liquidation expenses. Or you can record for debtors after deducting this 3,700 also. 3,600 plus 3,700. Then liabilities you need to settle one by one. Liabilities, we have mortgage loan, outstanding liability for expenses. Mortgage loan was settled along with interest for 6 months. So mortgage loan, it was 4,60,000 along with interest for 6 months. Interest on above 4,60,000 into 6% into 6 by 12. 4,60,000 into 6% into 6 by 12. So balance you have this much. And outstanding liability for expenses paid at 20% less. Outstanding expenses %20 less. 20% less. 50,000 into 80%. Then you have balance of this much. Again, creditors were discharged subject to 5% discount. Sundry creditors 4,42,000 we have settled at 5% discount. 4,42,000 into 95%. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
So this is a balance we have. Assets minus all these expenses. Then preference dividend is due for 1 year and paid with final payment. Liquidation expenses 3,600. Liquidator remuneration is settled at 4% on disbursement to shareholders, both preference and equity, excluding preference dividend, subject to minimum of 20,000. So if you deduct preference dividend also for 1 year, 9% preference shares, 2,500 shares of 100 each, 2,50,000. So 2,50,000 into 9% for 1 year, it comes to 22,500. So then you have a balance of this much. Now, what is the total amount to be settled to shareholders? How much is the amount to be paid to preference shareholders? That is towards capital. For preference shareholders, what is the capital to be settled?
2,50,000.
2,50,000. For equity shareholder, we have two categories. One is fully paid up, partly paid up. And we need to find out the value, 4 lakhs and 2 lakhs. So overall 2,50,000 plus 4 lakhs, as it is, the number comes to 8,50,000. But do we have 8,50,000?
No.
We don't have 8,50,000. So what you can do is that, say, and in addition to that, you need to pay liquidator remuneration also. Minimum 20,000, that is a condition. So imagine you are going to collect a notional call from that 4,000 shares, remaining 50 rupees in case you collect. So 6,50,500 plus 2 lakhs. Will that be sufficient to pay all the shareholders to the fullest extent? In case you collect from the second category 4,000 shares, remaining 50 rupees, will it be sufficient to pay all the shareholders to the fullest extent?
Yes, but not to the liquidation expenses. Liquidators
Liquidator remuneration cannot be paid.
Yes.
Even for shareholders also you cannot pay fully. You see, preference capital 2,50,000. Equity capital, for our understanding, I am just taking category A and both are same only. Just for our understanding, I am taking this 4 lakhs. And once you call this 50, these people also will be not 2 lakhs, they'll totally it comes to 10 lakh 50.
Okay.
But we have only 8 lakh 500. We need to pay shareholders as well as liquidator remuneration also. Can you understand the scenario?
Yes.
So what we are going to do at this stage? So in case you make this, you can pay only to preference shareholders to the fullest extent, 2,50,000. Balance you will be having 6,500,000. Again, 6,500,000. We cannot satisfy the entire equity shareholders as well as liquidator. Now, what was the condition for liquidator remuneration? It is 4% on disbursement to shareholders, preference and equity, excluding preference dividend. That means, what is the maximum funds we may be having after making call from contributories, which is available for shareholders? After preference dividend, payment of preference dividend, what is the funds we may have for payment to shareholders? After preference dividend, what is the funds we have for payment to shareholders?
This 6,500,000 divided by 96.
6,50,500. You can call even 2 lakhs also. So totally you'll be having 8,50,500. 8,50,500 is the total amount to be settled to $8,50,500 is the total amount to be settled to shareholders as well as $8,50,500 is the total amount to be settled to shareholders as well as can you hear me?
Preference shares.
For shareholders as well as we need to pay for
And liquidators
remuneration. So can we take this number as inclusive definition? Like this is inclusive of liquidator remuneration also.
Yes.
So in such case, normally we used to do into 4 by 104. Can we do like that in this problem?
No, sir. You should do it as into 4 by 96.
Into 4 by 96.
For liquidators remuneration exclusive. Or
Refund.
it is an inclusive thing. So it's not you are not getting additional amount of money. It is whatever is there that you have to utilize.
Okay. So 6,50,500 is the amount we have, which is available for this should be for both whom? Shareholders plus liquidator remuneration, right?
Yes.
So liquidator remuneration, if it is 4% on payment to shareholder, it is not like question number 1. That is excluding exclusive definition. This is inclusive definition. So what you should do, 650, 500 into 4 by 104. It comes to 650, 500 into 4 by 104. 25,019. In the question, there is a condition. Minimum you should give 20,000. So 25,000 is above 20,000 or not?
Yes, it's yes.
Another condition, it should be in multiple of 10. So instead of 25,019, it will be taken as 25,020. It is rounded off. So what is the balance cash available to shareholders after payment of remuneration? Balance available for shareholder is going to be 6,50,500 minus 25,020. 25,020. 625,480. Out of the 625,480, first you can pay to whom? Which shareholder?
Preference shares.
Preference shareholder. Then equity shareholder. Preference shareholder, we need to pay 2,50,000 capital. So balance available is 625,480 minus 2,50,000. How much? 3,75,480. Now there is a problem. This 3,75,480 should be given to whom? There are two categories of shareholders. To which category we need to give this 3,75,480? Fully paid or partly paid, or for both in some proportion?
Proportionately on average.
Proportionately we should give. So how it is going to be done? Listen. So balance available for equity shareholders 3,75,480. Add. Now you take that notional call for that 4,000 shares. If you collect the remaining 50, you'll be having totally 5,75,480. If you have 5,75,480, payment per share to be made is going to be 5,75,480 divided by, in such case, total number of shares will be 8,000 shares. 5,75,480 divided by 8,000. Now, a summary. Category A, category B. How much company has to collect from anything, whether company has to collect from category A? Whether company is required to collect anything from category A?
No.
No. To receive nil. Category B, company has to collect 50 rupees. Then to pay, for category A, company has to pay 71.935. category B also 71.935. Net settlement. What is the net settlement? Company has to pay 71. Pay 21.935 net. How many shares are there in category A? 4,000. In category B, 4,000. So total settlement 4,000 into 71.935. 4,000 into 21.935. Both together, if you sum up, it comes to 375,480. That was the balance available for equity shareholder. Can you understand that working now?
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Just to see. See, 21.935, 71.935. Can you understand? Say that these are all working notes. Working notes, different people, you do it in different way. Different authors try it in different way. But that process, can you understand?
Yes.
Okay.